Remember when danger lurked in the most unexpected places? The 1970s were a wild time when our everyday comforts came with a side of risk. From cuddly carpet hazards to explosive fashion statements, this decade had it all. But wait, there's more. We've uncovered 13 hilariously dangerous trends that'll make you wonder how we survived. Ready to take a nostalgic trip back to a time when safety was optional? Let's dive into the groovy world of 70s dangers. Number 1. Pet rocks. Remember the pet rock craze of 1975? These little stone pets took the world by storm, becoming the must-have gift of the holiday season. Gary Dahl's genius marketing turned ordinary rocks into lovable companions, complete with a cardboard carrying case and a tongue-in-cheek care manual. People couldn't get enough of these low-maintenance friends. But here's the kicker. These harmless-looking rocks actually posed a surprising danger. As kids started treating their pet rocks like real pets, some even tried to feed them. This led to an unexpected choking hazard, especially for younger children who didn't quite grasp the concept of an inanimate pet. The pet rock phenomenon didn't just spark a fad. It also highlighted the need for stricter toy safety regulations. Who would have thought a simple rock could cause such a stir? Number 2. Disco fever. From harmless rocks to hazardous dance floors, the 70s were full of surprises. Did you know that hitting the disco could land you in the hospital? The dance craze of the decade had an unexpected dark side that would make modern safety inspectors break out in a cold sweat. Picture this: a dimly lit room, pulsating with neon lights, packed wall to wall with bodies moving to the beat. That was the typical disco scene of the 70s. But beneath the glittering disco ball lurked some serious dangers. The popular dance move called the bump had people smashing their hips together, often resulting in bruises and even more serious injuries. And let's not forget about the hustle, which could easily lead to sprains or falls on those crowded dance floors. The conditions in disco clubs didn't help either. Cramped spaces and poor ventilation turned these groovy hotspots into potential health hazards. As the disco fever spread, so did the injuries. Reports of disco-related accidents skyrocketed, ranging from minor bruises to fractures. Who knew dancing could be so dangerous? Number 3. Mood rings. If you thought disco was risky, wait until you hear about the accessory that could literally leave you in a bad mood. Mood rings were all the rage in the 70s, but their ability to change color wasn't the only transformation they were capable of. What hidden danger was lurking in these popular pieces of jewelry? These groovy rings claimed to reflect your emotions through changing colors, but the science behind them was more about temperature than feelings. The liquid crystals inside reacted to heat, not your actual mood. But here's the real kicker. The materials used in these rings weren't always safe. Some contained nickel, which could cause allergic reactions and skin irritation. Imagine thinking your mood ring was telling you you're stressed, when really, it was just giving you a rash. The mood ring craze didn't just fade away. It actually sparked important conversations about jewelry safety. People started asking questions about what was really in their accessories, leading to better standards and regulations in the industry. Who would have thought a little color-changing ring could make such a big impact? Number 4. Bell bottoms. Speaking of safety concerns, mood rings weren't the only 70s trend that raised eyebrows. Ever wonder why your parents always nagged you to be careful when you wore those stylish bell bottoms? Turns out, those flared pants were more than just a fashion risk. They were a genuine safety hazard that could turn a casual stroll into an unexpected trip to the emergency room. Bell bottoms were the epitome of 70s fashion, with their wide legs flaring out from the knee down. Everyone from kids to adults rocked this groovy style. But little did they know the dangers lurking in those extra inches of fabric. These trendy trousers increased the risk of tripping and falling, especially when walking up stairs or navigating crowded spaces. But the real trouble started when bell bottoms met machinery. Imagine cruising down the street on your bike, feeling the wind in your hair, when suddenly, bam! Your pants get caught in the chain, sending you flying over the handlebars. This was a common occurrence for bell-bottom wearing cyclists in the 70s. And it wasn't just bikes. These wide-legged wonders could also get tangled in escalators, leading to some seriously scary situations. Number 5. Lava lamps. Hottest hazard of the 70s. Again, what harmless-looking household item reached temperatures hotter than boiling water and sat innocently in millions of bedrooms? That's right. We're talking about lava lamps, those iconic 70s decor pieces that turned your room into a psychedelic paradise. But beneath their groovy exterior lurked a surprising danger. These mesmerizing lights weren't just hot to look at, they were literally scorching. Lava lamps could heat up to a whopping 200 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hotter than your morning coffee. Imagine accidentally knocking one over or touching it while it was on. Ouch! And the risks didn't stop there. Some lava lamps had faulty wiring or weren't designed for long-term use. Leave one on too long, and you might find yourself with more than just a light show. Try an electrical fire. These incidents weren't just isolated occurrences. They happened often enough to catch the attention of safety experts. Number 6. Macrame. Safety experts had their hands full in the 70s, but they never expected the next household hazard to come from arts and crafts. What innocent-looking decorative trend had parents in knots and firefighters on high alert? The answer might just unravel your memories of macrame. Macrame, the art of knotting cord into intricate patterns, took the 70s by storm. Suddenly, every home was adorned with hanging planters, wall decorations, and even room dividers made from this crafty creation. But these beautiful designs came with unexpected risks. Those dangling plant holders, perfect for curious kids to get tangled in. And those elaborate wall hangings? Turns out, they were more flammable than we thought. The materials used in macrame, like cotton and synthetic fibers, were often highly combustible. Place one of these naughty creations near a heat source or open flame, and you had a recipe for disaster. It wasn't just about looks anymore. Macrame became a wake-up call for home safety awareness. Number 7. The Battle of the Sexes. From flammable decor to flammable tempers, the 70s were full of surprises. Speaking of unexpected heat, did you know a single tennis match in 1973 caused participation in the sport to skyrocket by 20%? The catch? It also served up a whole new set of safety concerns. That match was the famous Battle of the Sexes between Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs. It wasn't just a game, it was a cultural phenomenon that drew a whopping 50 million viewers. But as more people picked up their rackets, something interesting happened. Tennis courts across the country saw a surge in injuries. Sprained ankles, tennis elbow, and even more serious accidents became common as novice players tried to imitate the pros. But it wasn't all bad news. The match sparked important conversations about gender equality in sports. Suddenly, people were talking about equal pay and opportunities for women athletes. It led to changes in how sports equipment was designed, with a new focus on making gear that worked better for female players. Number 8. Avocado green appliances. As sports equipment evolved for safety, kitchens took a dangerous detour. Remember those avocado green appliances everyone had to have? Turns out, their eye-catching color wasn't the only thing that could stop your heart. Avocado green appliances were the hottest kitchen trend of the 70s. Refrigerators, stoves, and dishwashers in this bold hue flew off the shelves faster than you could say groovy. But the rush to meet consumer demand led manufacturers to cut corners, compromising safety for style. These colorful appliances often had subpar wiring and insulation, increasing the risk of electrical fires and shocks. Imagine reaching for your avocado green toaster, only to get zapped. It wasn't just a rare occurrence. Reports of appliance-related accidents surged during this period, leaving homeowners and safety experts concerned. Number 9. Shag carpets. If you thought kitchen appliances were the only household hazards of the 70s, think again. There was another common feature in homes that posed an equally alarming risk. Can you guess which fuzzy floor covering was both a comfort and a catastrophe waiting to happen? Enter the shag carpet, the quintessential 70s home accessory. These ultra-plush floor coverings were all the rage, with their long, soft fibers providing a luxurious feel underfoot. But beneath that cozy exterior lurked some serious dangers. The thick, uneven surface of shag carpets made them a tripping hazard, especially for children and the elderly. Imagine trying to navigate your groovy living room after a few glasses of wine at a dinner party. But the risks didn't stop at stumbles and falls. Shag carpets were often made from highly flammable materials like nylon and polyester. A stray cigarette or a spark from the fireplace could quickly turn that plush paradise into a blazing inferno. It's no wonder that fire safety experts of the era were constantly warning about the dangers of these popular floor coverings. Number 10. The oil crisis. From flammable floors to explosive situations on the streets, the 70s were full of surprises. Remember when filling up your car became a risky adventure? The next trend we're about to explore had people lining up for blocks and making some shockingly unsafe decisions. The 1970s oil crisis hit America like a ton of bricks. Suddenly, gas stations were running dry and people were desperate for fuel. But here's where things got really wild. Folks started hoarding gasoline in any container they could find. We're talking milk jugs, soda bottles, even plastic bags. Can you imagine the fumes in those garages? This DIY fuel storage led to a scary spike in fires and explosions. One spark near those makeshift gas cans and boom! It wasn't just homes at risk. People were driving around with trunk loads of improperly stored fuel. Talk about a recipe for disaster. Number 11. Roller skating rinks. While folks were playing with fire at the gas pump, another craze was rolling into town. Roller skating became the hottest trend of the 70s, but these groovy rinks had a dark side. Ever wonder why your parents still wince at the mention of roller disco? Roller skating rinks were the place to be in the 70s. Everyone from kids to adults laced up their skates and hit the rink for some groovy fun. But beneath the disco balls and funky music, danger was lurking on every turn. These seemingly innocent hangouts were actually hotbeds for injuries. Broken bones, sprained ankles, and even concussions were common occurrences. What made these rinks so risky? For starters, safety equipment was practically non-existent. No helmets, no knee pads, just you and your skates against the hard rink floor. And forget about safety regulations. Most rinks were a free-for-all with experienced skaters zooming past beginners at breakneck speeds. It was like the Wild West on wheels. Number 12. Saturday Night Live. While roller rinks were testing our physical limits, a new TV show was challenging our mental boundaries. Saturday Night Live arrived like a comedy tornado, leaving a trail of laughter and raised eyebrows in its wake. But how did a sketch show become the center of a national debate on media responsibility? SNL premiered in 1975, quickly becoming a cultural phenomenon with its edgy humor and satirical take on current events. But this groundbreaking comedy show wasn't all laughs. It sparked serious concerns about its influence on viewers, especially the younger crowd. Some parents and educators worried that the show's risque content and boundary-pushing sketches might encourage dangerous behavior. Imagine little Timmy trying to recreate a wild stunt he saw on SNL, or teenagers mimicking the show's more controversial characters. These weren't just hypothetical scenarios. Reports of viewers imitating dangerous stunts started popping up, raising alarm bells across the country. Suddenly, SNL wasn't just pushing the envelope, it was ripping it wide open. Number 13. The Atari 2600. As if parents didn't have enough to worry about with SNL, a new craze was about to sweep the nation. Who would have guessed that a simple plastic box could spark fears of addiction, physical strain, and social isolation? Welcome to the dawn of home gaming. Enter the Atari 2600, the revolutionary console that brought arcade-style fun right into our living rooms. Launched in 1977, this beige beauty quickly became the must-have gadget for kids and adults alike. But as players lost themselves in endless rounds of Pong and Space Invaders, concerns started to surface. Parents worried their children might never see the light of day again, glued to those hypnotic screens for hours on end. The physical toll of gaming became apparent too. Eye strain from staring at pixelated graphics and sore joints from gripping those joysticks were common complaints. And let's not forget the dreaded Atari thumb. a genuine ailment caused by hammering that red button.